Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ruben Young, aka the Young Electrician. Here on this podcast, we like to see electricians grow, not just in the field, but also in their personal lives. We believe that your personal life and your work life shouldn't compete, but complement each other. With that said, today we're going to be talking about making goals for 2026. I know it's already almost the middle of the month, but it's never too late to start. And I want to show you guys why in this episode. So strap on in and let's get ready to make this one of the best years ever. So when it comes to setting goals, we have to have a couple of ground rules. A lot of people try to set goals and then they never happen. And there's a couple of reasons why this happens. Number one is their goals not realistic. I want to be a millionaire, or I want to be a CEO, whatever the heck it may be. I want to find somebody to marry this year. And sometimes it's not realistic, or it's not within the realm of what we could do right now. And that usually sets people up for failure. And what that does, that failure causes us to not want to try. So you have to have goals that are realistic. You have to have goals that are manageable, that are in your control, and that you can do this year. It's good to have 5, 10-year goal plans, or even 1 or 2 year goals, but you need goals that you could complete within this next month, this next 3 months, 6 months, within this year before 2027 starts. Here's 4 ground rules for setting goals. 1, they have to be realistic. It has to be something that you can actually do. If you want to be a millionaire and it's not really within your means to do so this year, then maybe that shouldn't be a part of your goals. Maybe that should be a longer term goal. Or you could make that a goal later on down the year when you get closer to it. But it has to be realistic. 2, it has to be obtainable within this year. When you're setting goals, as we're talking right now, and I'm encouraging you guys to put some goals together, it has to be goals that you could obtain this year. Let's say you're in your third year as an electrician and you still need 1 more year in order to get the hours to get certified. Then getting certified this year, this shouldn't be your goal. You should set another goal up, and next year when you're closer to your hours, or you have your hours, then you could set that as your goal. So it has to be realistic, and it has to be something you could do within this year. Number 3, it has to be something you actually want. Now, there are a lot of times we set goals and then we don't follow through on them because it's something we don't actually want. And even though it might be a good thing, if it's not something you want or something you really need, you're going to have less ambition to go and do it, or less resilience to continue on the road when it gets a little bit difficult. 4, it needs to be something you could control. It can't be something that you're hoping somebody else does for you, or you're wishing that something will magically happen. It needs to be something you could control in a step-by-step process. I want to go to school again, so I need to look up schools that have the academic whatever that I want, and then follow through with the steps. I need to register with the school. I need to find out where the classes are. I need to find out financial aid. I need to find out how much it's going to cost me out of pocket. I need to find out when I could take classes when I'm not working. All of these logistical things, and then you have to write them down and take them on step by step. If you're going to get certified, it's like, okay, well, I got to find out, do I have enough hours? So I got to get my W-2 forms and kind of break down my hours and see if I even have those 8,000 hours for the general here in California, or whatever it is, wherever you're at. 2, I need to find out what paperwork I need to fill out. 3, I need to fill that paperwork out. 4, I need to send that paperwork in with a check. 5, I need to find a class or a book to study. 6, I need to go and take the exam. Whatever it may be, you set the steps up that you could take. It has to be in your control. So real quick, the 4 ground rules. 1, it has to be realistic. 2, it has to be obtainable within this year. 3, it has to be something you actually want or need. And 4, it has to be something in your control. Okay, with those ground rules, let's hop into it. I'm going to say there are 6 areas that everybody should have goals in. You don't have to have a goal in every one of these areas. You might just focus on one or 2 of them. It doesn't really matter, depending on where you are in your ability to set and complete goals. So here are the 6 areas that you can have goals in. 1 is career. 2 is relationships. 3 is spiritual. 4 is financial. 5 is personal. 6 is health. So the first one, career, it's anything to do with advancing your career, taking classes, showing more initiative at your work, learning a new skill, talking to your boss about moving up, looking up other companies to go and work for, finding a career path, whatever it may be, something that has to do with your career. 2, physical. Those are those things where maybe you want to lose a little bit of weight, maybe you want to build some muscle, maybe you want to just have a little more energy throughout the day, or whatever it may be, whatever your health goals are. Maybe it's that you've, maybe you have a sickness and it's just something you've been putting off because insurance or whatever other reason, and you really need to take care of that thing that's been kind of lingering, and you need to go to the doctor, whatever that, it might be something like that. So anything that has to do with your health, your physical, mental, whatever it may be. 3, relationships. Maybe you want a better marital relationship with your, significant other. Maybe you want a better relationship with your kids. Maybe you want a better relationship with your friends, coworkers, whatever it is relationally in your life where you feel like, man, I would like to have, more times where I hang out with friends. I would like to have better communication with my wife. I would like to have a better relationship with my children. Whatever it may be, you could have goals in that area. 4, financial. And this is, man, I want to start investing, or I'd like to save this much amount of money, or I'd like to make this much amount of money a month. And so long as you could build a roadmap to something that's attainable and something you're in control of, like our 4 ground rules said, then you can make that your goal. So financial is just dealing with your money, your finances. Maybe it's even educating yourself on finances, on investing, on 401k, on Roth IRAs, whatever it may be. You could set a financial goal. 5, spiritual. So maybe you are a religious person, and for me, I'm a Christian. And I know a lot of times it's really hard to have a consistent Bible reading or prayer time or anything like that. Whatever your spiritual thing is, and you want to further yourself into that, then you could have some goals like, I want to read the Bible more. I want to read whatever your thing is. It might not be the Bible. Or I want to go to church more. Or I just want to educate myself. I want to study more. I want to learn more about this religion. Is it real? Is it going to benefit me? Maybe you just want to go deeper into it and make it more a part of your life, whatever that may be. And lastly, self-care. Self-care is important because, especially if somebody becomes really goal-oriented, or just us as construction workers, man, we get really busy, and you got a family to take care of, not just financially, but also emotionally, and with your time and your energy. Then we got demanding job sites and schedules and all kinds of other stuff. And we will fail to take care of ourselves. Maybe for you, it's something like, man, you just need like an hour or 2 a week where you could just sit down and do nothing. Or you could sit down and play video games. You could sit down and read a book. Or you could go golfing or fishing or whatever it may be. Just something where you're like, I need time for myself. Because a lot of studies show that if you have time for yourself, and I can't quote a study on this, forgive me, I don't have one prepared, but I've heard that if you have something you're in control of, it's something you want to do, and it's something that relaxes you, it's something that you enjoy, then you are better able to take on the other responsibilities in your life. So it's really important for you to have some self-care routine. I know that might sound a little weird. Some of you guys watching, like, self-care, that sounds a little pansy to me, but it's important. It's important to be able to relax, recuperate, and rejuvenate yourself. So with that said, let's hop into it. Okay, let's talk about finding goals. How do you actually find the goal that you want, right? You're talking about education, or you're talking about career. You don't really know what to do. I don't know what to do in my career. I don't know how to make a goal. I don't even know what to aim for in my relationship. So the 2 things I think somebody should look at is, 1, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want more money? Do you want more freedom? Do you want more understanding? Do you want more of a challenge at work? Do you want to be certified so you can have more opportunities? Do you want degrees so you can have more opportunities? Whatever it may be in your relationships, do you want a relationship? Or have you not been in a relationship, or you're out of one right now and do you want one? Or do you want a relationship with somebody who shares mutual interests that you have, that you really get along with? Do you want more in your savings? Do you want an emergency fund? Do you want to start investing? What do you want? And another area of this is to look at what are you lacking? Because you might say like, man, I don't really want anything. Like my relationship is kind of good. And it's really hard for you. You're one of those people that's really hard to kind of see the negative side of something. You're like, well, I'm kind of like, I got what I need right now. And I don't really feel like I want anything else or need anything else. Another way to look at it is to think, what are you lacking? What are you lacking right now in your life? Are you lacking a little bit of peace of mind? Are you lacking a challenge at work? Are you lacking money to do things you want on the side? Are you lacking time to be with your family? Just you can either look at the things that you want or need, or look at the things you feel like you're lacking and really try to find what can you set as a goal to move you closer to having that thing you either want or need, or you feel like that you're lacking in your life. So that's just two ways to look at the same thing. And once you have your goal, once you figure out what you want, what you need, it needs to be something that's not some obscure idea or abstract idea. It has to be an actual, tangible idea. Like, I want $1,000 in my savings. I want to find a new relationship, you know, or at least have some more prospects that are more in line with the person that I want to date or be with. Or I want to be able to spend Saturday with my kids. Or I want to have a promotion. Whatever it may be, it has to be something that you could quantify, that you could actually tell that you've reached it when you got there. Once you have those goals, you're going to write them down. Write down as many things that you want, or as many things that you need, as many things that you feel like you're lacking. Write them all down. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to do them all. And what's going to happen is you're going to notice that some of these things kind of start to overlap. And maybe you realize there's a goal that you could aim for that kind of sums up a lot of these little subcategories of goals. So you're going to write them down. You just write down as many goals that you want. And then you're going to look through that and you're going to see, okay, well, which one of these is either really attainable, like I could actually aim for this and obtain it, or two, which one of these things do I really need and want, like that really mean a lot to me? Because maybe it's not the most attainable, but you can still obtain it within this year, and it means more to you than those other goals, because something else might be more obtainable, but it's not as important to you as another goal that might be a little less obtainable. And then you're going to write those down, and you're going to take those goals that you really want to do, and I encourage you. You could have goals in all of these areas, or you could just have goals in one of these areas. But I encourage you in each area to only have one or two goals. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Aim at one or two things at a time. There's an old, I believe it's an African proverb that says if a man chases two rabbits at the same time, they'll both get away. So try to chase one rabbit at a time. Trust me, it is way better. It's a way better feeling to accomplish one goal, whether small or great, than it is to feel good about having multiple goals like you're busy, but then inevitably end up failing both of them or all of them. So have one, maybe two goals in each area. And then once you complete those, this is the beautiful thing about having a goal list, you can then add another goal to it. You say, hey, I want a promotion or I want a raise. You get that. Okay, well, now I can add another goal to my goals of career or relationships. I want to be in a relationship. Okay, so you aimed it, you got it. You aimed and you got it. You're in a relationship now. Now you can add another goal. So instead of having a bunch of goals and reaching, extending yourself in different areas and feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you're failing, you can just aim at one thing at a time. And the importance of this too is that we as humans, a lot of us, at least I am, we go back and forth on things. Sometimes I want one thing, and other times I want another thing. And although I want both of them, I only have 24 hours in a day, and I have even less than that to actually dedicate to reaching my goals. So what happens is I'll pick one thing up and I'll start examining it and trying to work on it. And then the next day, maybe that thing's a little difficult, so I'll pick something else up and start trying to work on it. And when I have one goal, maybe two, it helps me narrow it down to where I know this is the thing I'm going to be focused on. I'm not going to pick anything else up. I know those are my other goals, and they're going to be on the list down the line, and I want those things, but I'm not going to aim for those things until I get this one. And that's what leads into the next area. Once you have your goals and you set them, one or two things in each one of these 6 areas, you're going to break down the steps. What does it take to get there? I want to get certified. Okay, well, you need the hours, work and school hours. You need to fill out the paperwork. You need to practice exam. You need to take the exam. You need to pay for the exam. set out the steps of whatever you need to do. Maybe, if it is financial, you need to save money. Okay, well, how much? Well, you need to figure out how much can you save a month or a week. How long is it going to take you to save X amount of dollars? Or maybe you want to start investing. Okay, well, step one, you got to figure out, you got to learn a little bit about investing, maybe educate yourself. Two, you got to figure out what you actually want to invest in. Three, you got to figure out how much you can invest. And these are all steps. These are all steps. And I try to break becoming a journeyman for those who have enough hours down like this to make it a little more tangible for them. I tell them, look, the first things first, download the form to fill out. You don't got to print it out. You don't got to do any of those things. But step one, you need to download it. And step two, you need to read through it. And you need to read through that and figure out, do you have the right qualifications to or requirements to take the exam? And then the next step, you need to actually fill it out. Next step, you need to send it in. And sometimes you need to break goals down that minute, step by step. Download it, then read it, then print it out, then fill it out, then write the check, then put it in an envelope, then fill out that envelope, then send that envelope. And just a side note, you have to figure out where you're at. Some people need that just what is the next thing I need to do? Maybe you're overwhelmed with life. Maybe there's just too much going on and you're not willing to do things in bigger chunks. Even though they might not seem like bigger chunks to somebody else, they seem like bigger chunks to you. So you need to figure out what you can take on. And then you need to write that thing down step by step. What are the steps that you need to take to get there? And then you need to set a time frame. You have to have a time frame for yourself. And I think, the first thing you do shouldn't be more than 2 weeks from when you set it. You shouldn't put it out, hey, next month I'm going to start this. Next 2 months I'm going to start this. Whatever your goals are, there should be something you want to take immediate initiative in. Whatever your goal is, the first step shouldn't be put out too far. It should be within the next week or two. But you do have to write those steps down. And then you're going to write, if you're writing this down on a piece of paper on your computer or something, actually give it a time frame. Next Wednesday, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes and I'm going to download the Journeyman form. Or I'm going to research books or podcasts on finances. That's my next step. And then after I research podcasts or books on finances, I'm going to decide which ones I'm going to read. And then the following week or on a set day, I'm going to start reading that book, or I'm going to start watching those podcasts and taking notes. And then next step, I need to decide how by this date in 3 weeks from now, I'm going to figure out how much money I can set aside. So you need to give yourself steps and then give yourself time frames. And even if you might have to adjust some of your time frames, because maybe you pick up a book and maybe it's going to take you 3 weeks to read it, right? But you really want to finish this book before you make any financial decisions, or you need to take a class for your to further your career, and the class isn't for another month. Then you have to adjust, of course, but you need to have a time frame. And then the next step, you need to trim the fat. You need to look at your life, and I think this is where so many people fail, and this is where I've struggled in the past. You can't do all the things you did before you set this goal and complete this goal at the same time. If you wanted to run a marathon, starting next week, you wanted to train to run a marathon, that training is going to take time. And that time isn't going to magically appear out of nowhere. You are going to have to stop something in order to start this new thing. So my encouragement to you guys is to, in this last step, figure out what needs to go. How are you going to make room for yourself to complete whatever said goal is? You got to look at your life and think, okay, what's in the way that's not as important as me getting certified? What's in the way that's not as important as me finding this relationship or me, bettering my relationship with said person? And then you need to trim the fat. You need to start removing those things. And it's not forever, but you have to let your goal take priority. I see this a lot with people trying to get certified. They're like, man, I'm working crazy hours. I'm making good money right now, and I don't have time to study. what you're doing is you're making your immediate money more important than getting certified. And in order for you to get certified, at some point, that has to become your priority. If it does not become your priority, you will not get certified. That's just the reality of it. If becoming a better person and knowing a little more about what you want in a relationship isn't priority to you, you're probably not going to reach that goal. You're not going to be the person you need to be to find the relationship, and you're not going to know what to look for in a person to find the relationship to have that you want. If it's more important to eat sushi and drink coffee, or to go and bowl or whatever the heck you do and spend money on your hobbies, if those things are more important than saving money and investing, then you're never going to save money and invest. So I'm saying all this to say your goals have to trump and be prioritized over other things in your life that will compete against them. All right, guys, quick recap. Setting these goals up. 4 ground rules. 1, it has to be realistic. 2, it has to be obtainable within the year. 3, it has to be something you actually want. And 4, it has to be something within your control. It could be something with your career, something with your physical, your health, whatever it is, mental, physical, emotional health. It could be something in the area of your relationships, or something financial. It could be something spiritual. Could be just your own self-care, having goals in these areas. Finding out what your goals should be, you need to look at the things that you want or need, or at least the things that you feel like you're lacking in your life, and try to deduce from there what your goal should be to move you forward closer to filling that void or filling that lacking in your life. Then once you figure out some of the things you want, write down all the goals you want in as many areas of these that we spoke of that you want. Once you got those things down, start to prioritize 1 or 2 things in each area, what really matters in your life that you want to do, and then just pick 1 or 2 things in each area, something that's either really easy and tangible to get you that quick win and make you feel good because you're making progress, or it could be something that's just really important to you, and if you got that and completed that goal, you would just feel so much better about yourself, your life, your circumstances. Break those goals down. What are the steps to do those? Once you break them down, give yourself a time frame. When are you going to start? How long is it going to take? You don't have to have all this answered, but you do need to set a time frame to when you're going to start and do the first thing. And once that's complete, you give yourself a time frame for the second thing. You can do the time frame step by step, because you already know the steps and you might not know exactly how long each thing is going to take. Then you have to trim the fat. Certain things in your life have to be removed in order for other things to be established. So you just have to learn to prioritize. Lastly, I would say set a reminder. If you are going to start this week, once you figure out your goals and you put them down from your start date, from when your goals are going to start, put a reminder on your phone, on your calendar, whatever is going to remind you in 2 weeks from then, that to remind you of what your goals are. Because what happens is sometimes we'll start, and if we're not goal-oriented people, if we're not used to having a schedule, we will forget. We'll forget all about it. Other things will eat up our time, our attention, then we'll just forget. And then 6 months later, we're like, oh yeah, I had a goal list I was supposed to be doing. So set a reminder. I would set a reminder for like every 2 or 3 weeks, just to remind you. Because even if you fall off for a little while, it's okay. Once you get that reminder, you can just get right back up and start moving forward again. All right, good luck, guys. On the YoungElectrician.com, I'm going to have a resource for you guys. It's completely free. I put this together earlier today, and it is a goal planner for the year. Very small, nothing spectacular, but it's everything we talked about today. You're going to be able to print it out, write on it, put it on your refrigerator, pin it on your wall, take a picture of it, whatever you want to do. It's yours to keep for free at theyoungelectrician.com. I'm going to put it on the main front page, or I'm going to put it in the free resource section. So just look somewhere in the free resource section for 2026 goal planner. It's going to be a PDF. You'll be able to download it, print it out, whatever. Also, for you guys that are contractors, we are partnered with Jobber right now. You're able to get 14 days free. You will not have to give them any credit card information or anything like that. You don't have to worry about the 14 days ending and they charge you. All you got to do is fill out the basic information and start your 14-day free trial. You get to talk to somebody who's going to walk you through some of the things that Jobber has to offer, and it's really cool. And then after that, I believe it's 3 months, you're going to get it for a reduced price. So I'm going to have that linked in the bio of this video. So go and check that out. Also, that will help us out if you do it, whether you purchase it or not after. If you're a contractor, it will help us out because it'll show them that people are actually listening to us, that are interested in this product, and they will continue to work with us, and it'll help to fund this channel, this podcast, and to do things like the giveaway we're doing. Another thing, we're doing a giveaway, and the money that we're making from Jobber, we're using to purchase a Journeyman Prep book and an NEC, either 2023 or 2020 for whoever wins. I'm going to be announcing the winner at the end of this month on all the social medias. And on the last podcast episode of this month, one person's going to win a NEC and a Journeyman Prep book. So if you want to enter to win that, you need to email us at theyoungelectricianpod@gmail.com. On the subject, you're going to write taking ownership. And then in the body, you're going to write, I'm taking ownership in 2026. So with that said, have a good day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.